razor blades just waiting to be swallowed by the soup. The repetition of a bad dream, a loop within a loop.
Summer.
Remember pulling up Volvos, now I get 94 full shows. My jury costs 4 shows.
And this pack is a bunch of melodies and chords that I made with my good friend and amazing pianist, Summer. I hope you enjoy.
Hi everybody, we've just seen a music video compilation of our featured artist, Summer Swee-Singh. Good evening everyone and welcome to Unwind with Webb. This is the second event of our virtual concert series featuring our talented alumni community. I'm Laura Wensley, Alumni Director. I'm here with Ben Davis, Webb class of 2011, and Kathy Frederick, class of 2002, both members of our Alumni Council. We also have backstage with us, Lexis Beeman, class of 08, and Michael Simonelli from the Alumni Office. Before we invite Summer on, this session is being recorded. We'd like to invite you to use the chat function to say hello and tell us where you're logging in from. I want to invite our special guest from Canada, yay. Use the Q&A button to submit a question and Summer will answer them at the conclusion of the concert. The format of this live concert will be select songs performed by Summer with questions from Kathy and Ben in between songs. So Kathy and Ben, hello, let's get started.
Yeah, hi everyone, I'm Kathy.
And I'm Ben.
And we want to welcome you again and thank you all for joining us. We're so delighted and grateful to have Summer Swee-Singh perform for us tonight. And I kind of wanted to share a few fun Webb facts about Summer. She was a day student while she was at Webb. She was active on the volleyball, soccer, and track teams, and she was the senior class president. She played violin and piano as part of the Honors String Sinfonia and pit orchestras for Fiddler on the Roof and Company. Hi, Summer. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Hi, Kathy. Hi, Ben. Thank you so much for having me.
Hey, Summer. Thank you for coming here, and the video was awesome. It's like pretty crazy how many people that you've played with and that you've documented all of it. So that's awesome. And it's funny that Mark Nelson just tuned in because I met you because of Mark Nelson. We never actually crossed paths at Webb. It was, I think, him, or I think you might have reached out because he told you about me, and then he had told me about you, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to get you guys together. And then all of a sudden, we became friends, and we've stayed friends ever since. So thank you, Mark Nelson, and thank you for tuning in, man.
That's awesome. So Summer, you have a really fascinating career path and went from majoring in legal studies at UC Berkeley to performing with numerous notable artists, including Circa Survive, Chon, and have even been on The Ellen Show with Bebe Rexha. Can you tell us a little bit about your musical journey?
Sure. Everyone can hear me, correct?
Yes.
Okay, just double checking. All right. Well, I was a legal studies major at Cal, as you mentioned, and I minored in music actually while I was there, mainly to pull up my GPA because I thought I was going to be applying to law schools after that. So after I graduated, I still was planning 100% on attending law school. I was studying for the LSAT, and I actually was working a full-time job doing administrative work and recruiting work at Jones Day San Francisco. And it was during that time that I met my now husband, and I chatted with one of the partners at the firm who was a hobby musician and heard me play at an in-office happy hour. And he told me, if I had, half the talent you had, I would at least try, making it at music. And, if it doesn't work out, there's always law school for you. So there's a few different people that kind of pushed me in that direction. And yeah, needless to say, it took a little bit, but found my way here.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We're so thankful that you did. But anyways, I know we're all excited to hear you play. And do you think you could introduce your first song for us?
Sure. Okay, so this first song is called Storm, and it's by my band GRP. So it's an original, and GRP is just a duo of me and Jessica Bordeaux, amazing drummer, and we bring on some different session musicians for each individual song. So here goes.
Oh man, so cool. And so everybody that's watching, I don't know if you caught the name of that again. That's the name was Storm and Summer. It's like so cool to listen to it and then also think about the title, just like the sweeping dynamics that you incorporate that are, I think, just so similar to what you hear in a storm. And there's like, I don't know, you got like pitter patter of rain and I don't know. And then you got like these like gigantic bouncing, like just drama. It's so sweet. So that was, I don't know. Yeah, I'm off to a sweet start. But I'm going to get to my first question. And I wanted to ask, what is the inspiration behind a lot of your music? And what is your songwriting process? And how have those things changed, especially during quarantine?
Okay, so I would say the inspiration behind a lot of my music would definitely be just the bands and artists that I listen to, growing up, and the ones that really helped form my love of music as an art. So a lot of the stuff that I even listened to in high school, I still listen to today. So bands like Thrice and Circa Survive, Muse, Rat-a-tat, Beirut. And then also, I took classical piano lessons growing up since the age of 7. I took them for about 10 years. And, just like the classical greats, especially romantic composers, anything with like a really solid progression and good melody, I'm about that. So those would probably be my biggest influences.
Very cool. I think we want to listen to some more music because that was so mesmerizing. Can you tell us about the next song you'll be playing?
Sure. Okay, so this next one is also a song by GRP, my band. Again, it's a drum and keys duo, but we bring on different session musicians on each one, each different song. This song is called At Dusk, and the actual song, the instrumentation is obviously piano and drums, but additionally harp and cello. Since it's a little repetitive, I'm playing a condensed version since there is no harp and cello. So I hope you like it. All right, so here goes.
That was so beautiful. And Dutch on the chat was saying how moving it was. Totally, very moving. And we actually have, I think, some students on the call. I think a lot of people might be curious to wonder, just, your experience at Webb. Did that impact your music in any way? And do you have a favorite memory from Webb, related or unrelated to music?
Sure. So Webb definitely impacted my music. I wasn't even planning on doing orchestra freshman year. So initially it was the orchestra conductor at the time, Mario Flores, who convinced me to join as both a pianist and violinist. And full disclosure, I'm a terrible violinist. Absolutely terrible. But that was the way he wanted me to play in the orchestra, since there's not too much piano and a lot of orchestral pieces that we were going to play. So I was primarily a violinist, albeit a pretty bad one, and then also a pianist for the songs that had piano. And, I continued with that and started actually discovering a bunch of like alternative rock music, progressive rock during that time. And by the time senior year came around and Mark Nelson was the orchestra conductor, he kind of pushed me in the direction of focusing a little bit more on music. He actually encouraged me to apply to college as a music major. And I actually wanted to, but my parents wouldn't allow it at the time. My parents were like, you're going to be a lawyer. So kind of went that path. But yeah, it was definitely thanks to him. He's still one of my music mentors. So largely in part to him. And then obviously my now husband and a few other people who helped nudge me in this direction. Favorite memory from Webb? Wow. Probably, I guess, the Yosemite trip, senior year.
Yeah.
That was a big
That's
one.
a
Also,
good
one of the more recent things. So it's been a while. I didn't really think about that. So.
Yeah, going back to your husband, your next song is JFN. Think you could introduce that song and kind of tell us a little bit about that before you go into it?
Sure. Okay. So this next song, JFN, those are my husband's initials. And I wrote the song for him before we got married, actually. And this is one of my solo pieces, not with my band. So it's a little more classical inspired, classical crossover. Definitely like more of a romantic classical type piece. So yeah, here goes. I guess I'll mute myself again. Hopefully this works. Okay, let's try it.
Man, so cool. The vibe that I get from that is like your husband is a badass dragon slayer.
Pretty much, yeah.
So stunning. Yeah. I see a lot of the comments. Very lovely, beautiful. It's just so much emotion there.
I think based on all of the comments that most of these people want to marry your husband.
No.
Yeah, hands off, everybody. So that takes me, I think, to one of my last questions. And again, I keep asking about quarantine because I don't think that musicians have gotten enough. I don't hear them being interviewed enough, or the arts being talked about enough during quarantine. But I mean, COVID is going to have long-lasting effects, and if this V-shaped economy that everybody is talking about is really going to happen, I don't think it's going to happen for musicians. And so I wanted to ask you, how has quarantine and COVID, how has that changed your music, your performances, and then how do you think that's going to change the landscape for musicians in the future?
Yeah, this is a great question. So COVID has changed everything for me. I was really excited about this year, career-wise. I was going to be playing my first festivals with Naia Izumi, who is amazing, by the way. He's an amazing singer-songwriter who won the Tiny Desk contest in 2018. He's now signed to Sony. I just played on his album. And even for him, we recorded last year and it was supposed to be out later this year. And now Sony's just pushing it back. I'm sure they just want, to be able to tour along with that. And right now with COVID, no one's touring. No tours, no festivals. The best that you can do are drive-in shows. And that only really works for usually the larger artists who can pack a large enough crowd to make some sort of revenue. So right now it is really tough for the music industry, not only just touring musicians, but crew and management as well. Obviously, bookers, people who actually staff the venue, everyone involved in the music industry or the live events industry in general. When I'm not touring, I play a lot of weddings and corporate events as well. And that's also obviously been, decimated by COVID. Everything has been postponed either to, later this year or 2021. And everyone's downscaling things. A lot of people are eloping and therefore just like canceling the live music, canceling a lot of different vendors. So there are definitely going to be very long-lasting implications considering that it seems like it's going to be at least a year till we're going to be playing live again in front of people. And things will be, some semblance of normalcy. But yeah, I don't know if we're ever going to be able to play, large shows, not socially distanced again. It's going to be a little tough because a lot of what I enjoy about playing is getting energy from the crowd and the audience. That really pumps me up before a show. It's just like being backstage. I still will never forget the first time I ever played live on tour was actually at the Shrine in LA for a crowd of 4,000 people. And just the rumble of the crowd before we were about to go on was just incredible. It just gave me goosebumps. I'm got goosebumps thinking about it right now. There's nothing like it. And then just feeding off people's energy, just, going nuts, screaming, for the band you're playing with. It's wonderful, but it's very hard to replicate in a live stream setting, obviously.
Has that changed, I guess, maybe what you've been working on? Have you thought oh, now I don't know, is this a time to record? Is it a time for you to I don't know, are you working on merch? Are you working on different things? Are you compiling everything that you've done the past few years and figuring out a way to, I don't know, what have you been what have you been doing, I guess, in that case as well?
Right.
Besides tonight.
So for the most part, I've just been doing a lot of remote recording. That's pretty much the only somewhat steady work that I still have. So, composing, recording for different artists, and that's always great. But, that's just a minuscule amount of what I normally would be doing. So it's great to have that and still be able to be creative. I did quite a bit of recording and remote work already prior to COVID, so that's quite nice. But live gigs were definitely the largest part of my income, so it's a little bit tough in that respect financially. But yeah, I've been collaborating with tons of musicians. I feel like maybe this is where I should plug that I have a single out today with my band featuring amazing bassist Anna Santina. It just started out as like a weird Instagram collab, so it's a minute-long song. And we did that because we were just going to put it on Instagram just for fun. And then we thought, oh, well, we're doing that. We might as well just throw it on all the DSPs. So it's on Spotify and all of that. It's a Halloween theme. It's a kind of proggy, kind of strange. If you like maybe like animals as leaders, you might be into it. Kind of strange chord progression wise, but it's called Tiny Pumpkin. So go stream that. You know, things like that. I have a bunch of different like smaller collabs that I'm going to be doing for and also not for social media. Something that I'm really excited to be a part of that I can't say too much about is a collaboration that I'm a part of with Jay Deal, who's an incredible composer, producer, keyboard player. He's worked with everyone, most notably Janet Jackson and Lady Gaga. And he's working with a bunch of really great people, a bunch of Grammy-nominated musicians all around the world on, I think right now, every continent besides Antarctica. We've got a global orchestra, 109 people in the orchestra, and then also a choir and other featured musicians all over. And that, I think, is going to be out January-ish. It's called Use Your Voice. So I think that's all I'm allowed to say for now, but there's some really heavy hitters on that, really great people. So I'm really excited to be a part of that. And then just, you know, collabs with friends because all of us are more or less out of work. So we're just, you know, trying to keep busy, try to stay creative. I've definitely, you know, written more, I guess, than I would have, at least in the first few months. Then there's like the anxiety with COVID, also like, you know, puts up a little mental block, writing block sometimes. So maybe it evened out in the end, but you know, that's all we can do right now. So.
Yeah, and I think like just in the current situation now, I mean, I think everyone appreciates that this live stream is better than nothing. So like, this has been amazing. I think
thank you guys again for having me. It means a lot. So
yeah, no, thank you so much for doing this. And I think we have actually a couple more songs so you can, if you want to introduce the next two songs.
Sure. Okay. So I guess I'll just play 2 more GRP songs. We only have 4 singles, so I'm literally playing all of them for you. This next one I'm going to play is called Willow Tree, and it was actually our first single that came out at the very end of last year. So yeah, definitely stream or download the original with the drums because Jessica's drumming on this is crazy. It's so good. Okay. All right, let's make sure this still works. Jess's drumming at the end of that is so killer. So definitely listen to that one, at least just for that. She has her signature 7 pattern that she calls the Jaybird. So yeah, that one's great. And then
Can you explain what 7 is real quick?
Oh, so for those of you who don't know music, music is in different time signatures, and most pop songs that you hear are likely in 4/4. Every so often you get like a waltz, you know, something in 3/4, 6/8. I'm not really going to break down how, you know, what time signatures mean exactly, but it's just the feel of the song. And so every, you know, 4 counts is, you know, like when you really feel it in 4/4, as opposed to 7. So it's 7/8 at the end. It's like every 7 beats. So odd meter is a little different in terms of what you're usually hearing is probably not that. But I really love like proggy, weird, odd meter stuff. So I always throw it in there a little bit.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Music theory for the day. Okay. And I guess this final song, I guess I'm going to play you Tiny Pumpkin. Yeah, so here goes. Yeah, all right. Let's hope it's not too loud. All right. That one's a short one. It's literally a minute. Again,
That's awesome. And just in time for Halloween too.
So yeah, Tiny Pumpkin. Yeah,
cool.
That one's featuring Anna Santina on bass, who's killer too. So.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Summer, for such a lovely and beautiful performance today. This actually wraps up our live concert portion of the event. Thank you all out there for listening.